Of course, Styx is a very notable, not quite prog band. A very, man, I feel like I'm all over the place. All right, let's restart this. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to a new episode of New Music Friday. This is June 18th. This is the second episode that I've done of this series. I really enjoyed doing the last one, so I'm hoping this will be a fun regular series to kind of update you on the world of prog news and to give you updates on my channel and the things that I've done this week and that are coming up, and then also to react and listen to some new music that's coming out that I'm excited for. So hopefully that's a fun format. I've been enjoying it. It's kind of a long form show, but I think it's really fun to be able to just talk about some of the big news items and big things that are really important to me in the world of music lately. So alright, so the first thing I want to mention is a new release that came out today. This is Crash of the Crown by Styx. I really was digging this record this morning as I was listening to it. Styx, of course, is a very big rock band from the 70s with a bombastic style with progressive influences, and this is a fantastic record, I thought, just listening to it this morning. I've only heard it once through this morning, but I was really enjoying it. I thought it was really fantastic, so I wanted to put that out there for people's attention, that it's really cool to see an older band like this kind of come with some new fresh material, and it's really been successful with a lot of bands lately. I've been surprised because sometimes these legacy acts can come and it's like kind of a hollow shell of what they once were. It's not really quite as fresh and exciting as their classic material, but I thought this was up there with some of their best material from the 70s. Of course, like I said, I need to give it more listens, but I was really impressed, and it really has the hallmarks of their classic sound that I think all the fans really appreciate. The Mission, which came out from them in 2017, also was kind of on the same lane, a really cool modern day release that really captured the band in a cool way and brought back some of that old style. And so this is along that vein and maybe even stronger than The Mission. I need to give it more listens, but I'll definitely be featuring it in a review, I'm sure, in the future weeks as I listen to it more and absorb it. So that's something I wanted to mention at the outset of the show. Another thing I wanted to mention is an upcoming release that I just heard about this week is the new Steve Hackett album. The album is going to be called Surrender of Silence and will be released on September 10th by Inside Out Music. So that should be an exciting release to look forward to. It says that the album features 11 new songs that Steve Hackett's been working on through lockdown. And he released an album earlier in the year, Under a Mediterranean Sky, which was more like acoustic based, I'd say. But this one should be a little bit more electric and more kind of a rock vibe by what it sounds like in the early press release. So I know that's an important artist for a lot of people who I'm sure follow this show. So I thought I for sure should mention that. So the album features a lot of musical luminaries, a lot of notable figures. Roger King, it says here, Rob Townsend, Jonas Reingold, Nat Sylvan, Craig Blundell, supplemented by Phil Ehart and Nick DiVirgilio on drums. And so it's just an expansive list of guests, and I'm sure it's going to be a really cool record. And so that's something to look forward to in the future. So the next thing I kind of wanted to spend a little bit of time on talking about is live music. Because COVID restrictions are lifting in a lot of areas, it seems like a lot of bands are getting back into live music and playing concerts and bringing things back to the live stage, which is pretty exciting to hear that. So when it comes to live music, for me, there aren't many choices of prog concerts around me. A lot of the bands seem to tour more along the East Coast when they come to the US, and I'm over on the West Coast in California. But occasionally there will be a concert that pops up here and there. So it's something I always kind of keep my eye out on. I saw that Cruise to the Edge was announced for May 2nd to 7th. I believe that news has been out for a little while now. But it's a really impressive lineup, and I'm really jealous. I wish I could go, but it doesn't seem likely because I already have a trip scheduled in May with my wife, and so I don't think I can swing both of those financially or just time-wise. But I'll be definitely following it and really excited to see all these artists. Marillion, Alan Parsons, Transatlantic, Riverside, Flower Kings, Hackett. These are just all big artists that I'm a huge fan of, and I'm sure you'll hear me feature. Moon Safari would be a dream to be able to see Moon Safari live. So I'm really excited for the people who get to go on that cruise, and it should be a fun experience for all. Another interesting thing in tandem with that a little bit is Morsefest. They already announced next year's Morsefest for, I believe, the weekend prior to that cruise, and it's going to feature Transatlantic. So Transatlantic is going to play at Morsefest and then travel right onto the cruise, it looks like. So that's an exciting thing, and something I'm kind of looking into. I wish I could go to Morsefest. If I can't do the cruise, maybe I can take a weekend off and go to Morsefest. Something I'm thinking about, probably unlikely, but it's just, I love Transatlantic, and any chance to see them live, I want to take advantage of. The other live news is today, Neal Morse Band, NMB, announced some tour dates, so look those up if you're interested in Neal Morse Band touring in October, I believe is when it starts. They're touring some US dates and then also some Europe dates afterwards. And unfortunately for me on the West Coast, there isn't many options for concerts for me. There's one in Seattle. That's the closest there is to me, and probably unlikely that I can travel to Seattle. So I'll just have to be content with my virtual tickets for the Morsefest for this year. But so that's my update. I'm always looking for live music. My dad, one of my favorite things is going to concerts with my dad. It's kind of the way we bond. And it's been frustrating that we haven't been able to do that in a long time. So I'm always looking out for a great concert to take him to. And I have to be kind of selective and careful about what I take him to, because he might not be into certain, he doesn't really like the heavier stuff. So if the band's too heavy, he, a little older, so he likes to be able to sit and enjoy the music. So if I know it's going to be a place where everyone has to stand through the whole concert, I know my dad can't really physically do that. And so I'm always thinking about that and trying to find the perfect concerts for him. And hopefully I'm planning to have him on the show soon, so you'll be able to see a little bit more about him and his prog taste. So that's kind of a little bit of a teaser, perhaps. The last thing I kind of wanted to talk about in the news type section is, I mentioned last week I reacted to a track from it, but I wanted to reiterate the Big Big Train release, which I'm super excited about, coming on July 30th. I listened to a Prog Report interview with Greg Spawton of the band, and it was a really well done interview that I really enjoyed listening to. So seek that out if you want more information. It sounds like it's going to be more of a rock oriented album than some of their latest albums, and really the situation with COVID and everything really had a big effect on them. There were members of the band that left. They weren't able to do the touring that they had planned in 2020, so it really took a toll on the band, and almost to the point where they thought about throwing in the towel or maybe disbanding or something, or going on a hiatus or something of that nature. But they decided to bring together the core four, who are actually the kind of four main songwriters of the band, and rally around that group and write a kind of a compact rock album that should be coming out in the end of July. So really excited to hear what that sounds like. And based on the couple tracks that they've previewed, I'm really thinking it's going to be something special. So definitely look out for that. Now into kind of a section about my music listening of the week and kind of what shows have come out and are planning to come out this next week. Kind of one of the fun updates. I talked a little bit last week about Nightwish, how I did the reaction video to Nightwish, and it was one of my most popular videos. Brought in a lot of new subscribers and a lot of the Nightwish army throwing their support, which I really appreciate. I've been kind of checking out a little bit of it more, kind of just on my own time, and showing it a little bit to Jana as well. There may be a Jana Reacts in our future of Nightwish, just to tease that in a few weeks. We have a lot kind of schedule built up, so even though we may have filmed something like that, it may take a few weeks for it to actually be edited and come out. But it's in the works. It really has made Jana kind of into symphonic metal. She's been looking up like playlists and things of symphonic metal and kind of has been interested in the genre. So that's been cool for me. Anytime she's excited about music, it makes me excited. So that was a cool thing about music that happened in the last week. and she's not, don't get the wrong impression, she's not like a full-blown like crazy fan or anything, but I showed her a playlist of symphonic metal after she kind of appreciated the Nightwish stuff, and she's been listening to tracks here and there and enjoying it. So just thought that was a cool thing that the channel kind of brought her into a new genre of music, and I'm hoping that's kind of my desire with the channel, and so I hope that that happens for people, and for it to happen to my own wife is kind of cool, so I thought I'd mention it. I did my album ranking this week, actually came out yesterday for Gentle Giant. I was really pleased with the video and how it came out. I thought it was a really good one. It was fun to edit. It took some time. Of course, these album rankings take time because I have to listen through all the albums and kind of compare and contrast and rate them, and then see where they all fall in the ranking. And then it takes a while to film it because I'm talking about a lot of albums, and then to edit because I like to insert the song clips and make it kind of a good little package. So it takes some time, but I really do plan to keep going on with those ranking shows, probably likely once a month or so. And I kind of plan to do the ranking shows based around releases that are coming out, you know, because those are bands that I'm excited about in the moment. And it's kind of fun for me when a new band releases an album to kind of go back through their catalog and see the journey up towards that album and where that new album kind of fits in those rankings with the older albums. So that's the plan for some of the artists that I'm covering in the rankings coming up. You can kind of guess what they are based on the big albums that are coming out in the prog world and reissues. That's why I did Gentle Giant, because there's a great new Steven Wilson makes of Freehand coming out. So that was what sparked the Gentle Giant ranking. So I've been listening to the next artist that I plan to rank all this week, and we'll continue to listen to them throughout the next few weeks. I'm not sure I want to give it away yet, but it's a more modern prog band, and one I'm not sure if it's going to be big for everyone. It's more of a niche artist, but I thought it'd be fun because they've been releasing new vinyls recently, and I plan to get one of those new vinyls in the upcoming future. So that's kind of what sparked that one. They came out with a big box set of all their like releases in one giant box. So if you're familiar, you may know who I'm talking about, but I'm going to try to keep it a little bit of a secret for a little while. And this week I've also been listening to a lot of, I listened to it starting yesterday and got kind of obsessed with it. And I'm listening to It Bites and kind of going back to their older stuff. And because I got their newer albums reissued, and so I'm kind of planning to do a show around It Bites. So that's kind of something I've been obsessed and listening to a lot lately, and should be coming up hopefully in the next few weeks as well. And I plan to do a vinyl tag video. A lot of people have been releasing these 2021 Prog vinyl tag videos, and I wasn't sure I wanted to do that, but seeing everyone do it and kind of people saying to me that maybe I should do one, I think I'm going to do one. So after I film this, I'm kind of going to plan to film that pretty much right after, and we'll probably release that even as soon as tomorrow. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that one. Just more of an off-the-cuff kind of show that should be kind of fun as a one-off feature. And so this should be a fun week. I also have a great review coming up from the band Sylvan this week, which is one of the albums that really impressed me. So a lot of great stuff coming up. Hopefully you enjoy all that is on offer here. So now I'm going to get into kind of the singles of the week and listen to some music, react to it, and just really this is just a way to share music. But I like that it's my first listen of it, so you get to see my reaction at the same time. So I just like the idea of inserting music into these shows and kind of featuring some new stuff that hopefully will grab somebody's attention. So the first one I'm going to feature is the new Neal Morse Band song. And I've been waiting. I saw this came out like in the morning, and I've been waiting to be able to hear it until I could do it on the show. So I haven't heard this yet. Of course, I'm a massive Neal Morse fan, so I'm super jazzed to hear this song. You're going to see probably a big, huge reaction from me just because this is my favorite kind of music. So I'm really excited to hear it. The track is called Do It All Again. It looks like it's the lead track from their upcoming album, Innocence and Danger. I spent the morning trying to pre-order their new album. It was kind of a tough process. Anyone who may have gone through it themselves may know that the site was not working very well, and it took me several hours to finally get in and be able to order it. I wanted to be one of the first 100 orders because Neal Morse will sign those and so forth. I probably didn't make that cut just because I was having so many issues, but I finally got my pre-order in, so I'm really excited for that album. It'll be definitely one that'll be highly featured on this show, and Neal Morse will be a highly featured artist around the time of that release. So really excited to play this track and see the kind of sound that they're going for on this album. So without further ado, let's listen in on the new Neal Morse Band track. Yeah. Kind of a dreamy quad. Yeah. So first pause, I love that opening already. Kind of that Spock's Beard type feel to it. Kind of this classic symphonic prog that it feels like home when I hear Neal Morse Band. It brings me in because it's so familiar, but yet it sounded fresh. It sounded like a lot of new elements to it as well. So it was a cool blend there, and some great guitar playing by Eric Gillette. Of course, he's master of his instrument. So all band members are firing on all cylinders here. So cool to see a band like this just continue to improve and grow, even though they've been doing this for so long. It's really fascinating and cool. So let's keep on trucking here. I'm digging this a lot. I could tell this is going to be one of my favorite tracks of the year. Woo! So good. It's hard to pause this, but I feel like I should pause a few times, just avoiding copyright strike, and then to kind of break it up and be able to give my opinions. But I love the alternate vocals. That's one of their trademarks, of course, but we've got Neal Morse singing first, and then Bill Hubauer comes in, and then of course Eric Gillette singing that just amazing, beautiful chorus. And it's remarkable what they're doing here. I love this music because it's such a great blend of the cool proggy elements, but also this fantastic, catchy, hooky melody. You know, that's what Neal excels in, what the band excels in, because I know this was a very collaborative effort, so it's hard to know who wrote what, you know, so I think they all have that ability to write these catchy hooks, but also these crazy, quirky instrumental stuff as well. So, and it blends so well together. You'd think those two worlds would kind of be so separate, you know, these hooky, poppy melodies and stuff, and this, like, you know, crazy, quirky instrumental, progressive rock stuff, but it melds into a perfect piece for me. So this is wonderful. So I want to keep going.
Never again I used to say that I can't look the other way, catching a glimpse of eternal days. I get up, I get down, I change around, but still right in his grip I'm found, waiting for those later days, later days, later days. I've lived through time, no one knows all my troubles.
That bass, so cool. Woo! So the video kind of made me pause because of ads and stuff that are coming up, but I'm really loving it. That verse there just had kind of almost a funkiness to it that I kind of appreciated. I thought that was a cool touch. It's just, there's so much going on, so many cool things in this mix. I'm really enjoying it. Of course, this is a first listen, so I'm just kind of letting it wash over me. Not sure I have a lot of coherent thoughts yet about it, but it's all beautiful and brilliant. I really love the melodies here, and it sounds perfect. Just the sonic quality of it and the instrumentation and what they're doing. So let's play. I'm hoping to get a good chunk done here without interruption. So.
Celebrate, turn and wait, find the ocean's daughter, fan the flame, heed the rain, bow to what comes forward.
Epic. So cool. Woo! Oh man, so good. Goosebumps, man. Love this. Killer. I like the little woo. So good, guys. So good. That's killer, man. Well, we're off to a great start here. Is it possible that the band is gonna... I mean, it's remarkable what they do here. I love it. I know a lot of people maybe make comments. Neal Morse, he kind of repeats himself and, you know, all that stuff. Everything he puts out is just magic to me. I think he's just one of the best songwriters and wish he was world-class famous because he deserves it. I love, and every member of the Neal Morse Band. I probably shouldn't assume that Neal Morse wrote all this because I think they all collaborate, and I think Bill actually brought a lot of elements to this. So, but yeah, just loving that music is just so, it's so them, but there's unique elements to it. It's impressive. Is Neal Morse gonna be involved in 2 of the best albums of the year? It seems that way with the Transatlantic, and now this sounds like a heavy contender to it. So I'm such a fanboy. I have like these rose-colored glasses when it comes to Neal Morse stuff, so it's always ranking highly in my list. So very cool. Very much a fan of that track, and suggest you guys all go out and listen to it in full without me breaking it up and interrupting it, because it deserves to be listened as a full piece. And please go pre-order it, you know, support the band. It's a worthy progressive release if you like this sort of thing. I know, you know, it might not be for everyone, but for those who do like it, please support the artists, and I'm sure you guys probably already have and are as excited as I am about it. So cool. Let's move on to a different track. So this was mentioned to me in the comments for my last New Music Friday, and I do like to feature new bands that may not get much attention, that are really good and notable prog bands. And so this is a band, the Cyberiam, based out of Chicago, I believe, that are coming out with a new album, and this is their track from it that they've released, Insanity, it looks like. This is their music video for it, so I thought, as part of these new music shows, that it would be fun to feature some stuff that people are suggesting, new bands that may not get much attention elsewhere that deserve to be heard, and to kind of build up some excitement for their upcoming albums. So here, let's listen to a little bit of the Cyberiam and see what their sound is like. This is a new experience for me. I've heard the name of the band, and maybe I've heard things, but I can't quite place their sound or whatnot. So this is kind of a blind listen for me as well. But I've heard a lot of good things from people's opinions that I very much respect and who like a lot of the same bands as me. So I think it'll be up my alley. So let's see how this goes. This is Insanity by the Cyberiam. I already tell it's like right up my alley. Interesting groove. The drums. So before it goes on, fantastic. I'm blown away by this. This is really cool. There was some really cool drum patterns going on there, some really interesting things, and the bass was really cool as well. And I like his voice is really interesting, and there's a lot of progginess, a lot of cool stuff going on in the instrumental here. I just really am liking this. This is right up my alley, exactly the kind of prog I like. So definitely excited to hear the rest of this track. Let's keep hearing it. Cool guitar lick. Also, the atmospheric keyboards. It's all really cool vibe, giving this kind of creepy vibe here. Part's pretty too. Bassline. Cool. Sweet. Sounds fantastic. I'm really impressed by that, and definitely makes me want to go check out the band. Very cool. Highly recommended. I'm excited for the album, and I got to check out more of information about them. So definitely check that out. I'll link the full video so you can listen to it without my commentary and interruption, because I think that's worth listening to. Cool new feature from a new prog band. So yeah, just as a follow-up, it looks like that's from their second studio album, which is coming out August 6th, called Connected. So definitely one to look out for. Check out them and their Bandcamp, and just really cool. I'm going to definitely look up their prior album, and I'm really intrigued. So definitely thank you for that recommendation in the comments, And please recommend new prog bands. I'm really into that and like to feature that kind of stuff. I know it's obscure and some people maybe don't connect as much, but I think it's really cool. So I'm really excited. So thank you guys again for a great new episode of New Music Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys for your support and for watching these videos. And please give me feedback and let me know how you feel about this style of the show. I'm still kind of tweaking the format and figuring out, but I do like doing these weekly and kind of bringing attention to some new prog and the prog world and news. So I do plan to keep doing this, and I really enjoy it. So thank you guys again, and please subscribe if you haven't for more content like this. There's lots coming. I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things that are in the works, and I appreciate all the support. So as I always like to say, thank you and enjoy the music.